is.
It's been a while, man. Alrighty, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 467, Willy Wonka and the Myth of the Lazy Poor. I don't know what this is about. I just heard about it today, but it is a Just Right video, and my God, I think it's been almost a year, if not more, since we covered a Just Right video, so I'm a bit excited. Let's see.
For good reason.
Yeah. It came out this year in January. It's got about 150,000 views, and obviously it's about Willy Wonka, so it's a very well-known movie. I remember growing up with this, watching it like it must have been every year in grade school. They always had this playing on in the library for grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. Like everyone would just be watching it. It's a great kids movie. There's nothing bad about it. It's got music, it's got dancing, it's got all kinds of great stuff going for it. So how
Gene Wilder is just such a magnificent actor.
Fantastic performance, but how Just Right's going to turn this into some story about economics or working class people, I have no idea. So
Also positively references the Tim Burton movie in terms of philosophical implications.
The Tim Burton movie for philosophy is not things that pop up into my mind ever. So
he just thinks that like philosophically it's more honest than the Gene Wilder movie.
It's more honest.
He's arguing that it's better adaptation of the book than the 71 version.
Interesting.
And also that they don't shy away from the colonialist aspect of the book. Whereas
the colonialist aspect.
Honestly, if that's
kidding.
the truth,
I wish
I'm
I
gonna
were.
say that at least the 71 version is a better movie, because I
Undoubtedly.
want to watch a movie about a child is being challenged to the point that he needs to test if he's greedy, he's honest, and such things, that he doesn't take advantage. I don't want to have themes of colonialism or working rights. I don't care about any of that shit. I want to watch a movie about a kid going in a chocolate factory.
Okay, maybe I should rephrase. Some people want to have that.
Well, Just
in their
Right,
movie.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think children of any age who watch this go, I wonder what the little people are being paid. I wonder where they live. I wonder what kind of families they. It's like, no one's
Mommy,
thinking.
is the little
for
people
the kid
black?
to fantasize. Look, what's interesting about things like this is
Speaking
when
of black,
you, as a kid, have something to fantasize about and fill out yourself.
Actually,
When the movie tells you absolutely every bloody detail to the point where what these guys eat for breakfast and how they season their food and maybe what color their shit is, there's nothing left to imagine.
Willy
actually
Wonka
just-
and the Chocolate Factory was actually filmed in Western Germany, wasn't it?
They
I
actually
thought in Munich.
They actually do
Yeah.
tell you what they're getting paid. They just tell you very quickly, they like chocolate, I pay them in chocolate because the cocoa bean is sacred. And they eat it. And they like eating it.
Doesn't that mean that they own the means of production?
Yeah.
It was cheaper in Germany. Yeah.
They make it. They consume it. They control the quality. So they know what they're doing, and Willy Wonka just sort of manages them. So we need more buttercream. Let's go get some.
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas basically live in communist utopia.
Yeah.
Workers' paradise. The actual workers' paradise.
Sorry, I've joined late. We're talking about the Oompa Loompas here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Short orange. Like to have a sing song.
Right.
A bunch of little Trumps.
They never said China in that movie.
Yeah. Well.
But doesn't he also he brought them there to live in safety because of the vicious canids and the snozzwangers and everything used to eat Oompa Loompas.
I don't know. I never watched Naruto.
I don't remember that from the original movie, but I only saw it as a child.
It's also in the
vicious. Yes, Vicious Knids and everything. Yeah, I love
I
this.
never
movie.
knew
This
there
movie's
was a
great.
book.
Really?
Yeah, Roald Dahl. Yeah, Roald Dahl. Yeah.
It's called Lord of the Rings.
No. The thing is, there's two. Isn't there 2 books?
Yes, there are 2 books. One is
Yeah, there's 2
Willy
books.
Wonka is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The other one is Charlie and the Glass Elevator.
Yeah, Glass Elevator. Yeah.
Oh.
Is
also
that what
did
brings
The
you through the glass
Witches.
ceiling?
Oh, wow.
He also did The Witches and
Fantastic Mr. Fox. What else did he do?
somebody's Marvelous Medicine.
Oh.
James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that.
Wait, isn't
He
Fantastic
also-
Mr. Fox like that other like weird director?
Paul W.S.
Yeah.
Paul W.S.
W.
Anderson.
Wes
Yeah.
Anderson, yeah.
Where's that? Yeah. Not Paul W. No, he's that weirdo who does.
Resident Evil.
Yeah. No, not him. No, Wes Anderson. Yes.
Yeah.
The one where he goes to his wife. Here, act if you can.
The Resident Evil guy.
Oh, Lord.
And the that one weird adaptation of Three Musketeers with Percy Jackson as D'Artagnan.
Yeah, and also
D'Artagnan.
Orlando Bloom as an evil French person. I'm like, what?
Well, that
No,
fits.
it was he was the Duke of Buckingham. He
Was that the
British.
Yeah.
one where that ended in steampunk zeppelins invading France?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
That's-
one.
That seems
where
about
I'm-
right.
Whoa. I must have missed that.
Hmm.
It was a very odd Three Musketeers movie, but it
Yeah, but
was
also
enjoyable. Did you know what? I know
It's enjoyable.
I happen to personally know the horse.
do you know the what?
The horse that wasn't used in the movie.
Oh, the horse. Sorry,
Oh,
I
yes,
misheard.
the horse.
I thought you said whore. Sorry, my mind
no.
goes there.
The horse?
I know you heard that. No, but the horse is it's a German horse because because it's been very well
Horse.
trained for all the tricks and stuff. It was at a medieval fair. Was at a couple of years ago. It was very interesting. Also taught a lot about that. You know, these tricks, they're really stupid because horses don't do this naturally. But yeah,
Oh, right.
good horse, good horse.
Yeah,
Oh,
but here's the
okay.
thing: how can you like that movie, Wisp? It's not a good adaptation of the original book. Now, Stardust, on the other hand, is an absolutely
The thing is with that movie is it is so over the top silly doing a steampunk fantasy nonsense that I say okay. It is not
What?
because it's not because this is deliberately silly. That's a different
It's not
thing
deliberate.
from
It's
being
not.
being
No.
being deliberately
No.
woke nonsense with racist
what-
tokenism and all of that shit.
What you on about?
Well,
here?
Stardust isn't what. Stardust ain't woke.
Woke?
Stardust ain't woke.
What are you bringing up Stardust for? That was a horrible adaptation. And no, Hawk, you
because-
can't have an opinion on this. You didn't read that book.
I've read
I-
that book, and I actually think that the book's ending is very unsatisfying. And
Yeah, like most real fairy tales. Neil Gaiman wanted to write an actual fairy tale. That's why it was gritty, bloody, and the ending was, well, the way they are on fairy tales.
well, it's mainly
Don't
just
actually all have
that the
happy
villain
endings.
doesn't get.
No,
It's
fairy
not-
tales
it's
need to have
that-
happy
Well, it
endings.
gets a. Well, I mean, like the ending is actually. I'm fine with the melancholy ending. I just think the villain got off too lightly. There's still
Yeah.
a danger and should have been killed,
Mhm.
like in the movie. Like and
So
also,
in a giant explosion, like in every bloody Hollywood movie?
Yes.
I'm cool with that.
Aren't you a Christian?
No, he's a Mormon.
You just
I
want
am
the
a
villain
Christian.
dead because it's a witch.
He's a Mormon. Wisp, like,
He's a Mormon.
Stop insulting
Mormon.
people.
Jesus.
You
stop.
anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Well, I just prefer that dangerous bad guys who are murderers should be killed.
Ooh.
Also,
Yes.
the "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live" is a mistranslation. It actually should say murderers.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
didn't know Mormons were for capital punishment.
Well,
Okay.
when it comes to stories, you want the bad guys to lose and to lose appropriately. I hate it when you have stories where the bad guys just sort of get let off the hook, or the hero gets a little retarded, and we've seen that recently with some video games. It's a big letdown to not get the comeuppance who deserves it. And that's kind of the reason why we have the little fantastical element of karma in stories, even if the story is not fantasy. You want to see someone get their due. And it doesn't matter if it's a law-abiding person doing that or some villain doing it against another villain. It doesn't really matter. We want to see some justice done on the grand scale. So,
yeah, this is and this is the audience wanting to jerk off, and this is why I think this is
What?
Seriously, yes, that's what you just said, and this is why I think this book Neil Gaiman wrote at the height of his writing, because what he wanted to write was a fairy tale that was also grounded, and in reality, it doesn't always play out the way you want to.
Okay,
but it plays out in some form that is still somewhat satisfying, and that's what that is.
But what does that have to do with jerking? Whisp, how much whiskey you put in your coffee before you start these Smudcasts?
None yet.
I'm quite sure the ending of, if I remember the book correctly, the ending of
when you talk about just wanting to get the big show off punishment, bad guy gets killed, that's just you want your Hollywood movie. No. We want karma.
In fairy tales, most of the bad guys meet very, very messy ends, as far as I'm aware. Because everybody gets a messy end.
No, hold on. See, we're looking at this from a normal, sane view. Whisp is looking at this from a German view, and German people have no sense of pain, so they're like, she got gutted and had all her organs ripped out. Bah, that's an average afternoon in Bavaria. No, I don't know what they're on about. That's not karma. You have to go over the top.
You're mistaking me for the United States government.
What? How much whiskey? It's in your coffee.
1/5 of US is German heritage. What are you talking about? So you, but very much hate yourself, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hawk, what can I actually add to this caffeine chocolate drink that I have here?
9/11.
Absolutely. No. Oh, do whatever you want to do.
Rum, Baileys.
Kahlua.
I have Baileys.
Oh, Kahlua, yeah.
Are you insane?
Kahlua.
I'm not insane, no.
Oh, Kahlua. I don't have Kahlua. That does sound insane. What the hell is wrong?
Coffee and coffee? What is that? I don't know. I'm crazy. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, no, I'm German. Who cares? Hey, Poland, what are you doing later?
Anyway, we've got 14 minutes of just right. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about. Let's get going.
If you're not greedy, you will go far.
In 2004, two anonymous authors going by the names Oompa and Loompa launched the satirical website Say No to Grandpa Joe. The website states its tongue-in-cheek purpose as such. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a well-loved movie based on the wonderful book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Parents love it, children love it, heck, we even love it. That does not mean it is perfect. Our goal is to expose the dark underbelly of the story, to reveal once and for all the truth about the only real villain in the movie. And no, it's not Slugworth. It's Grandpa Joe.
Look at me. Look at me.
The website goes into detail on all of the reasons they hate Grandpa Joe. He's ill-mannered, slovenly, misogynistic, perverted.
How is he perverted and misogynistic?
Hold on. Based, but anyway, do continue.
He's the only one of the old people who actually gets up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that misogynistic?
Also, yeah, that's misogynistic. Yeah, you should be letting the women on. Oh, why is he misogynistic? Oh, this is misogynistic in the movie.
I hope he'll explain.
Well, let's hope it's a satirical website.
He's an old man. He has some fun in life. He has had his fun in life. He knows how to make a joke, and these people don't know how to take one.
Hold on. Also, this movie came out in 1971. In the UK, in 1971, well, especially in the early 70s, there was a lot of what you would call raunchy sex comedies at that point in time. So the UK was quite perverted in of itself. Like the Carry On movies, which started off as comedies, got really raunchy.
When did Little Britain run again?
Not the 70s. What the fuck is what? So around about 2005, so probably just 30 odd years after Whisp, exactly. How much whiskey is in this coffee of yours? If you're not... But
more important with this is that in 1971, people were still writing songs for movies that sang about how gay you are and didn't mean homosexual, but just jolly about life.
Anyway, this is all hopefully satire. We haven't seen this website.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
it's coming from Just Right, so I can't be sure of it.
That's a good point, but we'll see where he takes this.
But the thing is, these people have no sense of humor. They take everything seriously, except the laughing about the pain of others. And, well, in that way, they also take that seriously. But due to that, we never know when these people mean anything seriously or in jest. It's usually just in jest when they use it as excuses.
They also invest in Poe and Finn being gay and thinking that it would have made it an objectively better movie if Poe and Finn had been in a couple.
Yeah, but also
it would have been better if Finn had been the main character, Holo didn't exist, and Rose didn't exist, and then everything didn't exist.
Oh. Someone showed me recently how in the Star Wars sequel trilogy that Poe actually dressed more gayer as the series went on.
Doesn't surprise me. Isn't the actor gay?
No.
I think he's bi.
No, he's
same difference. I think he wanted the gay thing to happen.
Yes.
No, why would he?
Yes, Oscar Isaac was pulling for Poe and Finn to be a couple, I think.
And from what I remember from the interviews was that the actor of Finn, forgot his name, was
Boyega.
Boyega, thank you. Boyega did not look very comfortable about that. I remember some of those talk show interviews, and the Poe actor. He kept looking at him with these dreamy eyes and this wide smile, and Boyega was just, dude, I want to get out of here.
I think, it's clear that Finn was simping for Rey the whole time, that Rose just sexually assaulted him.
Well, that's clear to you. That is clear to you.
Anyway.
That's because I'm not stupid.
Anyway, let's keep on going talking about this movie.
Yeah,
hard-hearted, vindictive,
when you start talking like this, I do need to
cruel,
get the Bailey.
A slacker, and he's a bad influence on Charlie. For several years, the meme remained a niche internet curiosity. Like, can you believe that some people hate the character you're obviously supposed to like? But the idea skyrockets in popularity after a viral rant by sports commentator Jim Rome on the character in 2010.
This guy lays in bed all day long in his pajamas.
All the old
while his old lady's working like she's triple shifting at the laundromat. And then the second the kid comes home with a gold ticket, he's right out of bed.
So he's gonna dance around, he's gonna sing a song about how he has a golden ticket. He doesn't, Charlie has the golden ticket. Well, that's Grandpa Joe for you. Oh, Grandpa Joe's a monster. Is he the bad guy or something?
You could walk this whole time, you walrus mustache son of a bitch.
Characters that make my blood boil in film. Grandpa Joe? Yeah, fuck that guy. And while most of the memes are just as much of a joke as the original website, I think it's also true that they are often shared sincerely, and that they satisfy a white-hot anger towards the so-called
Leech of family. How old is this guy? How old is he?
He's in his
70s,
60s.
Isn't that something like having pensions and stuff? And
yeah, he worked all his life.
Does he just want him to work himself to death for no reason?
In fact, there's like 3 other elderly people in that bed. Because it's like in the movie that they are so poor they have to look after both of the grandparents.
Yeah, you know what you do when you're really poor and you can't afford heating?
Kill your firstborn child, the great god Gilgamesh.
Either that or you stay in bed where you have this big insulation cushion around you.
There's 4 people in one bed. They're not living a life of luxury. I spent 20 years in the same bed with 4 people. Yeah, go me.
Though
poor
at
me.
least Grandpa Joe is
That was
definitely
a
not
normal
getting
thing in
pension.
medieval times.
Also, why
for
aren't
sure.
people having a go at Grandpa George or Grandma? What's her name? The other 2. I don't know what the names are.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he's the
The three
only
of the
one who
grand- the
still
three
has
of
a
the-
life spirit in him.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
He's the one who gets excited to go with Charlie and help him out because everyone else won't go. Right. That's part of the story of the film.
all right. Either way, it's a satirical take. That's fine. Here's Turmoil. Thank you for the 2. Boyega is going to star in a movie as a slaver king. Oh, that's nice.
He can finally become the
Yeah. We
role
all
that he wanted
expect
to
that. We all expect that to be revisionist history revisionism.
Unless it's Egyptian.
Because they will not let him speak the line. I cannot imagine they'll let him speak the lines that man actually said.
Oh.
What's the character?
But I, for one, am happy that he can finally play a role in African movies. Because when he left Disney, he specifically said he's gonna star in African movies, so I can show my real culture to the world.
Yeah, the culture of a country that built its whole wealth and economy on slavery, on enslaving everyone else and being proud of reducing its enemies to slavery.
Mass genocide
Anyway.
genociding several basically, like, the Africans are just as bad colonialists, like Shaka Zulu. Are just as bad as the colonizers. Like Shaka Zulu, give me a break.
People start to learn about Shaka Zulu, yeah. But this guy, I can't remember his exact name. The country was later turned into Benin, and that's what I remember. But he also had a secret police of only women that were all married to him, and the law was that if you touched one of his wives, you would be put to death. So, yeah, try to defend yourself against that.
And sounds like Black Panther. Literally,
Kinda.
that's the thing in the actual comics where the Dora Milaje are all the Black Panther's wives.
Huh, interesting.
All right. Here we go.
Why did this
Secret
happen?
slave society?
It is incredible the way that Wonkamania has descended upon the globe. While the world searches, we watch and wait, wondering where the pursuit will lead.
Oh my god, that blue truck. We still have these driving around here sometimes as ice cream trucks. Just funny.
It has to be noted that the vast majority of the memes around Grandpa Joe are solely about the version of the character that appears in the 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory starring Gene Wilder, and not the character as he appears in the original 1964 novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or the Tim Burton directed remake of that name that came out in 2005.
It is
so
bad.
it's worth thinking about why this
The
version
chocolate
of the
looks
character
so
draws
unreal.
the most ire, while the other two do not. The chief selling point of the Tim Burton remake seems to be that it would do what the original film did not, by being as faithful to the source material as possible, with at least one huge exception we'll get to later. Tim Burton's film has a nearly identical plot to the novel, and even includes tangential chapters like the anecdote of Willy Wonka selling a chocolate palace to an Indian Maharaja. It includes all of the competing chocolate companies in the early parts of the story. It makes sure to tell you the name of the chocolate bar Charlie finds the golden ticket in, which is the same as it is in the book,
One Wonka with scrumptious fudge mellow delight, please.
but was for some reason different in the Gene Wilder version.
Why not try a regular Wonka bar this time?
Like, there's
I
no
wonder why they
fair
cut
to
that out.
getting everything exactly right. The aesthetics of the world are detailed, perfect recreations of what is in the novel. For example, in the book, we get this passage about the boat Wonka has on the Chocolate River. It was a large open rowboat with a tall front and a tall back like a Viking boat of old. And it was of such a shining, sparkling, glistening pink color that the whole thing looked as though it were made of bright pink glass. That's
Just
exactly
that it's a
what appears
seahorse.
in Burton's film, whereas the filmmakers of the first movie read that passage as Willy Wonka has a fancy boat. And so the vote.
They have a small
Probably
budget.
Didn't have the money.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my god, I was literally just about to say, Mark, it's amazing what Tim Burton, a multi-million-dollar company, can do compared to a very small company in 1971.
They had to move the entire production to Germany to save money, and they're gonna blow up the budget. Are you fucking idiot?
Yeah, I mean that brown-colored water for chocolate. Because it's a practical movie.
Yeah, they're so unimaginative, uncreative. They have no vision. They can't read the book. It's like, no, dude, they don't have the money. They don't have the ability to do this.
The thing is, I always remember when I was little watching the 70s version of Willy Wonka, and that first room they go into with all the first set room with all the chocolate stuff. I always wanted to go there. Like, oh my god, I'd love to be in that room.
Same.
But then I watched the Tim Burton's and I went, oh my god, I'm just expecting fucking Beetlejuice to burst through the fucking door again or something. It's like, Tim Burton.
Or Willy Wonka, or Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka to grab one of the children and eat
bite the head off.
Follicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
It's
just
such
a
a
crazy
terrible
thing.
movie.
This Willy Wonka, the 71 Willy Wonka, he comes across as human still. Everyone here comes across as human, as a bit odd, but still human.
Yeah.
No one in any. Yeah, I'm going to say Tim Burton just can't write normal people.
Yeah. About this, it's years that I've heard of Just Right. Does he usually care about accurate adaptations?
That's ironic because
Actually,
this is probably the first time he ever argues for that, because there was that very famous one for Last Jedi with the bombers, and he was saying not everybody knows what the Y-wing is or something.
Oh, that was him. That was
him. Yes. And now he's arguing for accuracy. It was only 3 years ago.
What an idiot! He absolute brain dead idiot.
He also said that the book of Ready Player One had really terrible themes and needed a Starship Troopers style overhaul, which is true, but he makes a really bad argument for what should have been changed.
As always.
It's hard to say the Starship Troopers movie, which is more of a satire or overblown adaptation from the original, could work in other ways. And if you just read the book, you'll see, this is taken in a very specific pro-militaristic jingoist style tone. And to lighten that up for the theater makes sense. It's like, this makes total sense to go from one to the other. I don't know if you could apply that to every other story that gets converted into a movie. And I don't think the audience would appreciate classics taken that way. So I don't know. He's got some weird takes, but that's fine. I don't mind his strange adaptation argument. That's whatever he likes.
So what you're saying, Smudge? Oh, go on.
My assumption off the bat would be that he simply argues for what he personally, subjectively, likes for some reason and uses all arguments in favor of that. No matter whether he uses the opposite arguments for something else, where he has the opposite position, because he likes the other thing.
Or he'll sing the praises of Last Jedi to the point where he made 2 videos about it.
Oh god.
Then he'll rip Rise of Skywalker a new one because it destroyed all of the precious themes of TLJ, like Rey.
What themes did that movie even have, except for insane women ruin everything?
Wisp, we've been here for 5 years. I don't know. I didn't know 5 years ago.
Okay, I'm gonna run with he hates the main theme of The Last Jedi, which is insane women ruin everything.
Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's keep going.
That movie looks like this. All of this is part of Burton's attempt to evoke the kind of whimsy the book does. The music choices put a layer of sentimentality over everything. The narration is warm and comforting, like the story is being read to you by your parents before bedtime.
He was not faster or stronger or more clever than other children.
So in a lot of respects, Burton's film is the book.
Yeah, but I like the old movie that it's more show don't tell. Like, I understand the aspect of like a storyteller perspective, but it's way better. Like in the 70s version, I have only seen it as an adult, but I really liked it that it was just not trying to feed me information by dialogue dumps, because I really hate that, especially now. I'm watching like an anime called Demon Slayer. I fucking hate that every single thing has to be explained by a character. Like I see that somebody is running away from a monster and that they say like, oh, the monster is not looking at me, so I should like run away now. I hate that. I hate that so
The thing
much.
is, these types of manga, they love to do that. It's, when you have this general theme of you basically have a tournament style thing, which Demon Slayer in a way does. Maya had the same thing. Every move is explained to ridiculous detail. I see what you find annoying.
Yeah,
everything on the screen is explained.
Who here has actually seen both versions of this movie?
I've only seen the
I did.
70s one.
I have. I've watched the Tim Burton movie as well as
Have you watched
the movie.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen both, and this is a very good frame to pause on. But go on, Hawk.
Yeah. My point is this: he's talking about it's just like the book. But last time I checked with the book, there wasn't a scene about a very young Willy Wonka and his dentist dad, was there?
No, there was not.
No. So you know that big massive scene in this movie where they have that flashback with Christopher Lee in it, being his dad with a dentist, is just right going to ignore that because it's not the book, not in the book.
Yeah. The Willy Wonka is one of those.
Also, do we also need in the Tim Burton? Do we need to know that Charlie's dad works at a toothpaste company?
I think that is in the book.
But as in like
it's not. It's extraneous. Yes.
Yeah. So we have all that. Do we have to have all these like? So the thing is like the reason why I always prefer the 70s version is because it gets to the point of what people are there to see.
Yeah.
As in, it sets up the story. It sets up the story. You know who Charlie is. You know who all the families are. You know. Straight away, does it?
And you figure out the conflict of Willy Wonka himself.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't need to see a scene of Willy Wonka in a jungle talking to the Oompa Loompas to get to understand that he went and saved the Oompa Loompas. It's like, okay, that's great. I've got that. I don't need to know. But Tim Burton drags on and on and on. Especially in this movie.
Even like on the aesthetics, because he makes the real world look so crazy, it just makes the chocolate, the factory, not like look that special at all.
Yeah, it's not a contrast anymore. And then, but here, this shot is very important for that. Is this made after some sketch in the book or something?
I don't believe so. I think this is an original.
Because this picture here says Tim Burton all over. Because it's so overblown with obvious meaning in your face. The rest of the town looks relatively normal, but you have the street goes high up onto the hill where the giant factory is basically sitting on a throne of presiding over the city. It's dominating the city. It's not just this. There's a chocolate factory in town. No, it is the factory. And then you have this little shack here. Like there are normal houses all around, but there's this little poor shack here on its own little piece of land in the center of town, and it is this so ridiculously askew that it is unbelievable that this chimney is still holding, and it is. The way it is moved into an angle, it is warped, is like it is in awe or scared of, terrified by this giant factory, like it's being blown away by the factory. Like, are you trying to tell me some message here with this dichotomy? Because the factory and the little house, they are completely opposite of each other on this long road. Like this I'm sorry. This is like you want to tell me something with this picture.
Generally speaking, when you have a a fantastical element. Like look at the Tim Burton 1989 Batman. Everything that's Batman and even the second movie with the Penguin, all of that is weird and wacky and twisted and this and that. The rest of Gotham is just Gotham. The rest of the city or the people are just people.
The rest of Gotham is just the 1940s.
Right.
Yeah, what I mean with here, yes, the image is loaded with meaning and but I don't know why.
Yeah, there's no need to have this crazy poor family have a crazy looking house. There's no need for that. It could have just been a dilapidated house. It's old. It's rugged.
It doesn't quite look like a Central European town from the 1970s.
But furthermore, the meaning in this picture comes in this frame. It is very obvious. It tells itself, as I just explained. But that is not in any way part of the movie. That there's no conflict between this house and the factory. They're not opposed to each other in the story.
Well, usually when we have characterization of elements or objects, that tells its own story. And this is the problem with this exaggeration of characterization for a house. All these questions start popping up in your head. How is this thing still standing? Why is it look this way? Who
not
lives
just
there
the house
and why?
itself, but how it's situated within the city and against the factory. And this has no bearing in the story at all.
Right.
It tells me that Tim Burton needed someone to tell him no, just like George Lucas does need someone to tell him no, and most directors need someone like
Del
that.
Toro, I would say, I think that Guillermo del Toro is pretty, level-headed and doesn't really need to be told no very often.
Well, all I can say is that, Charlie is coming from a poor family while he's, going to, some very big place.
Just wanted to say, with way too many words, that Tim Burton is obsessed with how things look and forgetting. Maybe he's getting old, but he's forgetting that the aesthetics also convey meaning, and that you can't just have this interesting, nice aesthetic because this is a beautiful shot. But if the meaning has no bearing in the movie, keep it out.
Yeah, it works in Beetlejuice. It doesn't work here.
For this movie.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, I'll say this about Tim Burton. It feels like for the last 20 years, he's just gone, well, Edward Scissorhands was a success. I'll just copy that with every single thing I do.
Yeah.
And I'll just put Johnny Depp in it. That'll make a lot of money. And it just feels like every single thing he does is just Edward Scissorhands, but in a different way.
Yeah.
The weird, wacky stuff.
Yeah, Willy Wonka reminded me a lot of when Depp played Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
His Dark Shadows is basically a really, really bad attempt at a reboot that just has a really big tone problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of Ed Wood.
On screen. And that is true for Grandpa Joe. As in the book, Grandpa Joe is very sweet in all of his scenes. He gives Charlie money so he can buy more chocolate and get a golden ticket. He celebrates.
In the 70s movie, didn't he get a chocolate to Charlie?
Yeah, he actually gets it, and they wait for everyone falls asleep so they can open it together.
Right.
Because he'd saved money up to do it. God,
which is a wonderful family moment.
Yeah. Grandpa Joe genuinely cares about Charlie,
also,
in his own way.
Isn't this new Grandpa Joe also now jumping out of that bed? He's pretending to be crippled in.
Yeah, it looks very similar as well.
Ah, yes, but he didn't burst out into a musical number. Complete difference, comrade. See?
Yeah, he just danced a jig.
Yeah. He just danced an Irish jig. So, hooray.
All right.
When Charlie gets the golden ticket before he learns that he gets to go to the factory as well, he doesn't sing a song about how he has a golden ticket rather than Charlie.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
Oh, it's a signature song of the movie.
Yeah, it's just... He's not actually saying... Oh, Jesus Christ. Everyone sings that song because it's somehow... I can't explain
It's not about him being selfish, and he will have had the same dream as a child.
He works there.
Yeah, he worked there. No, the thing is, the reason why he sings "I have a golden ticket" is because it's just the song that the people wrote.
You could also interpret it as he's singing it for him.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah. He doesn't go. I got golden ticket anyway. See you later, Charlie. Stuff you and runs out the door. It doesn't headbutt Charlie, punch the mum in the face, and go, "So long, suckers." Sets fire to everything.
Yeah. Also, every child has an adult accompanying.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is also his ticket because he's going with Charlie.
And I think that didn't Charlie promise Grandpa Joe that he would bring him?
Yeah.
And also, out of all of them, nobody else cares as much as Grandpa Joe about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody else cares. Everyone else tells him that it's a silly dream to go. It's not going to happen.
Even the mother scoffs it off. It's just a silly dream.
And he doesn't encourage Charlie to try the fizzy lifting drink that nearly gets him kicked out of the competition. The Burton movie also doesn't exclude Mr. Bucket
because he's a flawed being,
which makes it feel like Grandpa Joe is being less of a burden on Mrs. Bucket. Both the book character and the remake character are written so that the audience is rooting for Charlie to help Grandpa Joe. Though, obviously, the fact that the Burton film is not as popular as the original is also why
it's good reason.
This Grandpa Joe.
Comb your hair, wash your face, polish your shoes.
Rather than this one.
Bring it straight back, and we'll open it together.
The Gene Wilder movie is very different from either of the other entries in the franchise. There are major plot differences between the characters. There's no Mr. Bucket. Grandpa Joe only jumps out of bed when he learns that he himself is going to go to the factory. A lot of the intrigue about where Willy Wonka gets his workers and what his competitors are up to is omitted.
He didn't even know he had a
so
stranger.
much of the original book that Roald Dahl actually hated it, thinking, among other things, that it put too much emphasis on Wonka and not enough on Charlie. With Grandpa Joe specifically, the changes can make it seem that he is putting a bigger burden on the family than he is in the other versions of the story, and that he's just being lazy rather than genuinely frail. But again, the biggest difference between this film and the other Chocolate Factory stories is tone. It actually shocked me how much of an absurdist comedy this movie is.
The way his legs had atrophied looked pretty frail.
Erased from my memory for a decade, overshadowed by its opulent second half in the factory. But in that first half of the story, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is not a film that takes place in reality. Everything is...
No, it doesn't.
Holy shit! Doesn't take place in reality? God, I would never have known that. Honestly, I thought this was all real. I thought there really was a race of orange midgets.
You can't.
Why is the story has to be grounded that much?
Yeah, you can't complain to anyone about the 71 movie being overblown, being exaggerated outside the factory when the Burton movie, the Tim Burton movie. That stupid house.
Complaining. I think he's just making an observation.
Yeah, but this criticism goes for both movies. So what's the point?
There is no way. Sorry, don't listen. There is no way you can go. Well, the Burton films are grounded in reality. No, it's not.
Has he made that argument? I don't think that he has. I think he's just talking about.
Oh, sorry. Let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I'm not really going to do that, right?
I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I just want to judge his idiocy accurately.
Okay. Let's put it this way: a story about a man who has a wonderful, amazing chocolate factory that has a group of small, orange-faced people working in it. I don't know about you. Not very real. It's
not definitely.
Also, it's just the thing is, it's very British comedy from the 70s with everything. It's got that very British 70s comedy feel. Anyone who's watched, I'd say, the Carry On movies and other movies from this early 70s period, they'll understand.
Monty Python and Holy Grail.
Yeah, Monty Python stuff. You'll understand. There's even some Monty Python actors in this.
Basically,
in small roles and everything like that.
This is a similar level of absurdity to something like Yu-Gi-Oh, where instead of monsters.
What?
It's a
Basically-
far cry from that, but okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Done.
I'm
Done.
supposed
Never-
to be the
in
audience here
Yu-Gi-Oh!
that makes
in-
weird connections.
In
Done.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
I'm just gonna
it's
ask you a question.
basically. In
You know
Yu-Gi-Oh,
how much Mountain Dew are you drinking right now? Because you seem pretty off of it.
well, here's the thing. Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a card game dominates the world. In this one, it's chocolate dominates the world.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. It's
No,
like I don't.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't read.
It's a-
I don't.
it's a
I don't read. Yeah, it's like Roald Dahl didn't do things like ground the real world. He made a story about a boy who floats on the sea on a giant peach. But what's sir? He made a story about a fox that steals specific food from 3 farmers, who all named begin with B.
That's completely unrealistic. I agree.
Yeah,
And like,
it's like
I'm just saying, like, it's
also
somewhat
the thing is
absurd.
this is also bear in mind. People seem to forget this movie is a musical as well.
It's a good musical too.
Yeah,
one of the few
people
I
seem-
actually like.
Yeah, exactly. I can't stand fucking musicals, but this one I actually enjoy.
You didn't
Right?
like The
So-
Greatest Showman? You didn't like The Greatest Showman?
No.
The Greatest Showman
I-
is what's a movie
I'll be
that
honest with
really
you.
pisses? It's a
No,
movie-
I'll be honest with you. I watched that
talking at the
movie,
same
and
time.
why are we talking at the same time? Because I'm over talking him. Listen, Great Showman, terrible movie. I don't like Hugh Jackman in general.
It's got Rebecca
don't-
Ferguson being a lovely, lovely, classy
No one
lady
cares.
as ever.
No one cares about Rebecca, whatever her name is. I don't care. Who is she? I don't know.
She is
Screw her.
the main lady, and she's Elsa Faust, the redhead in the 2 best Mission Impossible movies.
I don't watch Mission Impossible. I have a life.
Missing out. Missing
No,
out.
not really. No, not really.
They're
No,
actually
the Mission
really good,
Impossible movies are shit.
There's
You're
more
wrong.
Mission Impossible movies than the first one. Huh?
There are
Yes,
6
it
Hang on.
only gets
movies.
worse. It
All right.
only gets
There's
All
6 Mission Impossible
You're
movies.
wrong.
That's
You are- I would
more
love to
than Willy
debate you.
Wonka.
All right. Okay, back to the video.
Guys, move on.
Is heightened and insane, and everyone is insanely obsessed with Willy Wonka's chocolate. Teachers are teaching percentages by using Wonka's chocolate as an example. The president of the
Yes,
United
Sounds
States
like
teachers
Yu-Gi-Oh!
do this
Chocolate's
because
brought
they
to them.
use things that help that kids can relate to, that
No,
keeps them interested,
it-
that keeps their attention.
No. The joke is that everyone just does not give a damn about their lives or anything now that they're 5 golden tickets. Everyone just wants the golden tickets. No one cares about doing anything else. So the teacher's literally doing this maths because he's trying to figure out how to get Wonka bars.
Can you imagine
That's all the joke.
someone in, well, you don't need to wait 10 or 20 years, you can make this right now. Imagine making a supercut of society being obsessed with rainbow flags and making kids gay, and
No,
having
no,
that
no.
in having that
No,
in
really.
classrooms.
No,
Oh.
Wisp. What?
That's
the
the
thing is,
exact. That's the exact thing. It's just this. Look,
No, it's
this
not.
thing is this thing is dominant in society right now for some reason. In this case, because it's a good product. In the other case, because they're insane people.
Yeah, but the point is, all this is just. These are all just quick fire jokes.
Yes.
This is all just joke. Yeah, but what I'm saying
Yes.
is, in the movie, this is all just jokes. If you don't understand that the reason why this is all over the top is making
do.
fun of. Yeah, I know, Wisp, but I'm trying to. Jesus Christ! I feel like- I just
Hawk
feel
is
like-
trying to explain it to Just Right now.
Yeah. So with Just Right, it's like Just Right. These are all jokes going over the top to show how over the top everything is. If you can't understand that and you're thinking, well, why are these people all acting strange? It's because it's a comedy, which is also a musical. That's why people burst into singing and dancing. That is why, that's why it seems very strange. That's why a shopkeeper sings and gives free sweets to everyone, and then when Charlie comes in, coughs at him to hand over money. Because you weren't here for the musical number, sorry pal, you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah, true.
So it's just weird. It's just a weird movie. It's great. Whereas in Tim Burton's movie is just dark, depressing, and I don't know. I felt more laughs in Sleepy Hollow, for God's sake.
The Tim Burton movie also has Johnny Depp's single worst performance as Willy Wonka. Wonka. That is, without doubt, Johnny Depp's worst performance. Tonto was pretty bad.
Yes, I was about to mention that. Yeah.
Let's not forget
I have not even heard of that movie.
Well, let's not forget the video game as well. They're both horrific. So
something very wrong with that horse.
Yeah, there is. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Let's keep going.
All right, keep going.
Brought to him because even he wants a golden ticket. And the movie has these hilarious cutaways to random characters that feel more at home in an Austin Powers movie or an SNL sketch.
No. These are actually funny. So
exactly.
All these things are just building the world.
He's an American.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand good humor.
No, he's Canadian. Stop accusing Americans.
Yeah.
You German?
People can understand humor, but the thing is, it's I love how it belongs in Austin Powers. No, it doesn't. What the fuck are you on about?
Because it looks British. Because it must be Austin Powers.
Yeah. But the thing is, these scenes also build the world, and you don't even realise it because you're busy laughing along at the jokes.
Even call them hilarious. You finally get it. It's a funny scene.
It's a funny scene, but these two people are arguing about. You think it's about a proper domestic argument, but it's actually just about chocolate. And it's like the guy seeing the therapist. It's like, I keep having the same dreams of the golden ticket, and this therapist is like, where do you find this? Where is it? Where do you keep dreaming of it? Tell me. So it's like these are funny scenes. It's like, these belong on SNL. It's like the SNL wish they could think of something as funny as this.
Yeah, because this is clever. The movie is basically making a joke of mass psychosis. Because everyone's obsessed with the thing.
But also you have to remember that I think some of the people who wrote for Monty Python also wrote for this as well.
Would make sense.
Very thin.
Yeah, and I don't know. Does he want the original movie to be some super serious thing because it doesn't have cartoony CGI nonsense in it?
I don't know if he's making that argument. I think that he's...
Not argument. I'm not talking about him making the argument. I'm talking about his potential feelings about the movie.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed, I've had a phase as a kid like that, where I thought when it's it's the opposite of the misconception of, it's animated, it must be for children. And when as a kid I saw movies that were not animated, that had all these adult actors in them, I thought, this is a movie for adults. So if I would have just seen this scene while zapping through the channels on the TV, I would have thought, this is some adult movie, and just moved on. Maybe that's his misconception, that he thinks because it's adult actors so often that it must be a movie for adults and not for children, and therefore needs to be serious. And therefore, the jokes are all misplaced.
Yeah,
he actually likes that sort of thing. I think he likes that sort of thing. He's weird like that, where his sometimes he'll say that he likes bathos, and sometimes he'll say that he hates bathos. He hates bathos in the MCU, but it doesn't bug him in The Last Jedi.
Bathos?
Bathos, where you said a P. I heard a B. My bad.
No,
Bathos.
Bathos?
Yes.
What does it have to do with baths?
Bathos is a tone shift from the sublime or emotional to the comical, absurd, or crass. An example of bathos in The Last Jedi is when Luke tosses the lightsaber over his shoulder after a large emotional musical build-up.
Okay, yeah. I was not familiar with that word.
It's not a really good technique in general, and it's usually frowned upon because you want drama to be dramatic, you want comedy to be comedic, you don't want to have a shift from one to the other so quickly. it doesn't work very well, as you can see. So
he criticizes it quite a bit in saying that Wonder Woman didn't do it, and yet Marvel movies do it a ton, and that's bad. But it doesn't even come up even once in his Last Jedi review. And The Last Jedi has more bathos than the average Marvel movie.
The average Marvel series.
All right.
And when there are moments where that is well applied, but any of these people that are in this field of politics or mental disturbance, they just overuse it like little children. Like everything is this. It's like one of their standard jokes.
Yeah. Weirdest thing about he wants emotional authenticity in his movies. He never really defines what that is. It's really frustrating.
All right, let's keep going.
I killed Mark again.
In this one, a woman's husband has been kidnapped, and the kidnappers want her to give them her Willy Wonka chocolate bars. And she's like, husband or chocolate?
Curtis, did you hear me? It's your husband's life or your case of Wonka bars.
How long will it give me to think it over?
There is so much build-up about how special getting to go to the factory is that when Charlie finally gets the ticket, that movie celebrates this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 extremely long shots of Charlie running through London while the music swells. It's glorious. In his own display of cinematic self-restraint, Tim Burton only used 2 shots for this moment. So it's in the context of this absurd setting where everyone unquestioningly will do anything for chocolate, where chocolate is the most important thing in the world, that Grandpa Joe suddenly regaining the ability to walk just because he gets to go to the chocolate factory is the least silly thing that happens. But the memes about Grandpa Joe aren't really about Grandpa Joe. Though they sometimes make fun of his other qualities, the main reason the character is memed is because he is seen as the perfect example of a poor person who is poor because they are lazy. A leech on...
Okay, so we're more than halfway done. We finally got to the title of the video, so I'm glad we got something going on, because the past 7 minutes, nothing has been going on about the idea of the myth of people being poor or lazy. I don't know. It's it's 7.5 minutes just to get to the, hey, you know what? Here's the guy that everyone's talking about, and it's a myth that he's poor and lazy. It's like, okay, can you prove that?
I never got that from the movie, honestly.
Disabled. He's not.
Yeah, I never got the idea about he's lazy. He's just old.
Yeah, he's old, and there are no jobs. His job isn't there anymore.
Yeah, hold on. But also, and this is going to sound very weird to like Americans and everything like this, but in the 60s, especially in the UK, you sort of reached an age, and then people didn't think you'd work anymore. Then that was it. It was called retirement.
There's no retirement in the workers' paradise of socialist utopia. You work until you die, chained to your workbench with a bucket next to you where you can take your shit while you keep working.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the thing is, in the 70s, especially in the 60s, it's like, because, and especially since a lot of jobs were very manual, once you reach like your 60s and 70s, you weren't working anymore. That was it. You were retired. But you used to just scrape by. That's why we had pensions and stuff. So, yeah, like my granddad retired at 58, but he wasn't rich.
Yeah, my grandpa just barely retired at 60. So
when you now get to your retirement age, you have to get subsidies from the government to get to a high enough payout to even be able to pay your rent. Like that's not that, which makes that not an actual retirement age.
It's like annoyingly when I got like my last paycheck from the council, it shows you when what year I can actually retire in, and it was lovely seeing 2062. And I was like, oh, so close. It's only 40 years away.
All right.
Space Truck in the chat says, working till 70, then living from collecting bottles. The German dream. That's actually German reality right now.
Oh.
But in the UK, it used to be retirement age used to be 60, and especially in a lot of manual labor jobs, like especially like say the police or firefighters. It used to be 55, so you'd find a lot of people retiring at 55 in the UK. Between 55 and 60 for years and years and years. It's only very recently it's only since like the 21st century has come round that people are working into their 60s and 70s.
55 sounds amazing.
Okay.
But when you've been in a job for 20 plus years, you build up an actual pension with stuff.
Right.
So
Okay.
you'll work with your pension. Sorry. Anyway.
Now, here's a super chat that has nothing to do with this topic from Vladimir. Thank you for the 5. Fun fact, Obi-Wan's original lightsaber was made from a Mark I grenade. That doesn't make too much sense, but okay. I've never thought about that.
I hope you're on the right. I hope you're on the right stream, given that money.
Yeah, when you think of those pineapple grenades back in the day, I don't think lightsaber. I just don't. My mind doesn't go to that look.
So it's like materials or model for the design. It's like
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think once I see a Mark 1 grenade, I'll probably find out.
It's the pineapple design. It's basically
Is it the pineapple?
Yeah, the fragmentation shape so that they explode.
Really?
They
Yeah.
made some weird, like the modeling for the lightsabers is really, really weird. Like just how they came up with like the designs.
They're all sleek and weird, and then you have like Luke's, which is like sort of cobbled together, and you have what is his name? Udu. What's the guy in the first film? The Sith dude. The goofy name. What's that crazy?
Dooku.
Oh, Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. There you go. He has that sort of ergonomic one. There's all these dumb designs. So.
You mean Christopher Lee's character Count Dooku? Oh, gee, the smut, honestly.
I couldn't remember the name.
I know what you mean.
I know the face.
Weird name and also it's not worth remembering.
The nice thing about that lightsaber was they have a backstory in the Clone Wars of how he got it and what it means.
You know why? You know why they made it that actual design? I think it was because obviously Christopher Lee's a trained fencer. I mean,
because
what
Christopher Lee is the definition of a Renaissance man.
Oh, really?
In many
Yeah,
respects.
and everything like that. He asked it to be designed like that, so it was easier for him to like use, so he could fence properly. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, the pistol grip.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I still love the story of when what was it when Christopher Lee told Peter Jackson came up to Christopher Lee and said, "Oh, you're gonna get stabbed in the back, so I want you to make this noise." And Christopher Lee went, "No, that's not the sound a man makes when he gets stabbed. I should know." And then Peter Jackson just like went fully back away. I went, "Okay."
It's like
I'll leave it to you.
He actually described, apparently according to Peter Jackson, he then began to describe a very clandestine part of World War II and gave no more or details beyond that. And it's like, oh, he described exactly how he murdered a Nazi.
Yeah, it's like... I just remember it because it's just the way it's just like Peter Jackson was like, yeah, I didn't speak to him much after that. After he described how he killed a man, but it's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I think he once told Ian McKellen like 7 different ways you could kill a man with like kitchen utensils, and it's like, what is this? What is this person?
He's the original James Bond.
Yeah,
quite literally. Like he was killing Nazis all over World War II.
But isn't Ian Fleming like his cousin or something? The guy who wrote James Bond was related to Christopher Lee.
Yes, there are eerie connections between all these very interesting people. That is true, Org. You could almost imagine that maybe some of these stories are retellings of Christopher Lee's life. And the fun thing is that he played the man with the golden gun.
Oh, Scaramanga, yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful villain plot.
Anyway, let's continue.
society and a burden on their loved ones. And though the pervasiveness of the meme doesn't mean people actually think about the character this way, like it's still usually a joke, it does strike at a deeper perception about how the world works and who is to blame. But why is it the Grandpa Joes of the world provoke so much rage? Why not, freaking Willy Wonka himself?
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it.
Grandpa Joe isn't the only character from this movie who is the subject of a meme. You've probably seen this image more times than you can count. On knowyourmemes.com, it's called Condescending Wonka, and it's used to sarcastically tear down someone's foolish opinion on something.
Really?
It's not hard to figure out why this character is idolized. All of the build-up to Wonka's factory is build-up to meeting Wonka himself, and everyone up until that point looks up to him. He dresses fantastically and is our guide through this fantastical world, presented as all-knowing and all-seeing. On top of this, Gene Wilder's performance is magnetic and often hints at a deeper layer to the character behind his eccentricities. But to Willy Wonka,
which he is,
not
it's
a
just
good person is.
It's just a
If we're going
persona
to tear
he puts
down
on.
Grandpa Joe for the economic consequences of his actions, then why not Willy Wonka as well? First and foremost being, he uses slave labor.
No. Oh, wait, and
How did we get from the poor being lazy to the rich using slave? Like, what is going on now?
See, the very people who keep telling us about how wonderful it would be in a society without money, without currency, to just work for the sake of working and giving to society, and then just having this naturalistic trade of goods. He's actually doing that, and somehow it's slave labor.
Yeah, so this is a great example of a community work. What do you want to call it? Socialistic? I don't know how to define this exactly. It's communal. It's communal jobs. And we don't know what they're getting paid aside from the product of chocolate, which they're okay with.
Probably also free housing, healthcare, and being in this sheltered from rain and all of the hazards of where this is where the original not the original the Tim Burton version goes into. Basically, the chocolate factory is a safe haven for the Oompa Loompas, while their original dwellings in the wilds are horribly dangerous.
Right.
So there's another thing.
We don't see any instance where the Oompa Loompas are complaining or unhappy, or they're like so disturbed that they can't continue. They seem pretty happy doing their job.
Yeah.
So
that's no good.
Slave labor. That's no
good. You cannot be happy in a communist society.
It's like these guys having a good time doing their jobs. Is that really slavery if they're enjoying themselves? It could be, but is that a bad thing then? I don't know.
Communists aren't happy unless the workers aren't happy. Aren't unhappy.
Yeah.
Unhappy? Oh God, too many negatives.
Well, it's like, but the thing is,
unhappy.
Willy Wonka is really good to the Oompa Loompas, and he's really good with Charlie. He's not good with the other kids. He's wheedling out these kids to see who's worthy to replace him and everything like that. And the thing is, but he's also got people out in the world looking for kids who need a lesson as well. It's like Willy Wonka's almost picked the kids who were going to come.
Well, the whole contest is to find someone who's worthy of continuing his job because he hasn't found anyone yet.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
For that, he needs someone honest and pure. And Charlie almost also fell to a grim fate because of the flaws of his uncle.
Grandpa.
Whatever. Grandpa. But that wasn't Charlie's fault. And thankfully, the situation was resolved. And that scene, when I was a kid, that scene scared me to death. It was such tension. Holy shit!
With the flying up into the air to that belt or the fan up on top?
Almost being cut up by the ventilator.
Right. Luckily, they belched. Everything was better.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Belching is healthy.
Okay. 9 minutes in, and now we're talking about the
slavery,
slave labor of
the Oompa Loompas are actually black.
Happy black people. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let's talk about the Oompa Loompas and their history. So, in the original edition of the novel, the Oompa Loompas were described as African pygmies. But after the film was announced, the NAACP argued that Wonka going to Africa, picking up workers, and bringing them back to England to work in his factory, pretty much resembled slavery 1-to-1. Dahl actually agreed with the criticism, and in a new edition, they took out the pygmy background, and in the art, they were drawn as white people similar to hippies. Also, in fairness to Dahl, he originally wrote Charlie as black, but the publisher had him change this, thinking that audiences would reject a black protagonist because... Wow, nothing's changed. Then in the
no.
You're an idiot.
Wow.
That is wrong.
Wow.
Nothing's changed, really. 50 years.
Have you ever watched TV in the last 30 years?
Yeah, we have entire stations dedicated to black programming.
I think it's maybe just audience. Maybe he's saying that audiences reject it, but that's still false.
Yeah, but right now, in the last 30 years, we've had so many shows, so many movies with black protagonists of any age that people love all over the world. Well, maybe not in China, but they
can't. A lot of people liked Black Panther, even though Black Panther's not a good movie.
Yeah, but that was actually mostly liked by black people. They cheered for it like little dumb children. But
like lemmings.
Yeah, but if you get any movie with Morgan Freeman, people like it. Eddie Murphy, people like it. Wesley Snipes, people like it.
I like Blade. Blade 1
Jalil
and 2.
White, people like it.
People really like Blade 1 and 2, though rightfully everybody hates Blade 3.
Details.
Yeah.
Well, even if we look at examples of professional black people being entertainers, a lot has changed in the past few years, let alone the past 50 years. And to say that is, I don't know what world he's living in anymore. Is he really in Toronto? Because
in SJW world, there are no black people in media.
You walk around.
Realized.
Yeah, you walk around downtown even now. There's plenty of diversity. We got all kinds of people living all kinds of different lives.
If you show him Independence Day 1, he'll say, "Oh, they finally made a movie today where there's a heroic black guy." Wow, the movie's from 1999. Oh, that can't be. It must have been made right now.
Well,
because
it's
people
like,
back
it's
then
like
didn't like such things.
Yeah, like what about?
Yeah, but it's also.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. No, I was just going to say, he's talking about obviously a British-made film in 1971 about the diverse stuff and everything. You have to remember that until 1955, I think it was, the outside of maybe London and everything like that, there weren't that many black people at all. It's like in my home region, the first black people to ever set foot there were in 1955. And I'm halfway up the country. There was no black people further up. So it's a bit like, yeah, in 1964, there wasn't that many. In 1971, there still wasn't that many. We were still getting the Windrush generation. It's like all African British people are descendants from people from the Caribbean. We're completely different to what America is. This is the problem with people who don't come from Britain. They see black person and think, oh, they must be descended from Africa. It's like, no, they're from the Windrush generation that came after the Second World War to replace all the men who'd been killed and everything.
Well,
so we have a very large.
We have plenty of stories of black individuals or males or females as the main character. I just reminded of, was that Chris Rock show where he's a kid, and that went on for a few years. I mean, there
wasn't. Question: didn't Night of the Living Dead have a black main character?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was like Left 4 Dead's Lewis was based on him.
Oh yeah, so it's a bit like, so that was in the 60s. So
yeah, I don't have a list of all these shows, but because I don't really watch too much TV, but I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty of shows with different people, different ethnicities.
What year did Blazing Saddles come out?
Oh jeez.
So, what about
late
Prince of
70s?
Bel-Air? Prince of Bel-Air is an entirely African-American cast, and most people tend to like it, though weirdly enough, they're rebooting it as a drama series soon.
Oh, so hold on. So Blazing Saddles came out in
74.
74. So 3 years after this movie came out. So what's he on about with it hasn't changed? They literally made a massive comedy with a black main character. Sorry.
They made Blade.
Just right.
They made Blade.
Yeah, but Dunn. Yeah, I get it. You like Blade, okay?
Well, I've actually never seen any of the Blade movies.
What? You talk about whether which one is good and which one is bad. Bloody hell, sit down and watch the movies.
Well, no, I just know, like, by virtue of the fact that, like,
secondhand opinions, yes.
Secondhand opinions, as well as the fact that just most superhero 3 movies were bad, and a lot of them still are.
Watch them, like they're actually like good movies. For once, they are Marvel movies at that. Like that's like a big word to say.
Yeah, but the thing I think we're trying to get at is no, audiences were pretty fine with black people appearing on the screen as main characters. They have done for years. I mean, in 2 years' time, it'll be 50 years since Blazing Saddles. Are you trying to say? Do you know what I mean? It's like what Smud says. It's like it's fine, but also you have to remember that, especially things made in the UK, this idea of a multicultural United Kingdom is a very modern thing that has literally started up since the radical left started getting more say post. Ever since Brexit happened in 2015, that's when all this talk
it
about
exploded.
the UK's not been majority white and all this sort of stuff. It was sort of like it's almost just been like the leftists crying over the fact that the Brits wanted to be Brits and not part of.
They did that in all European countries at the same time.
No, really,
Here too,
not
around
here.
that time.
Speak for yourself, Wisp.
Okay,
Also-
Western European countries.
There's also the element that most people think that it should be like America because that's all they know.
Oh, but they say the same thing in America.
Too,
Also, we didn't have. People always talk about obviously the transatlantic slave trade. Bear in mind that slavery was abolished in the UK in 1805, so it's been abolished for quite a long time, especially before Britain. And also, we weren't bringing slaves over to the United Kingdom. We were taking them to the colonies when we were doing slavery. So, black people just weren't coming here by the boatloads like they were in America. With Britain, with slaves,
4,000 Africans overall were brought to Europe, and that is mainly Spain, I believe, or Portugal.
Yeah. We'd send people during our slave trade. We'd be sending people to the Caribbean for our sugar plantations that were there. Hence, why the Caribbean now has a high black population.
Yeah, Jeremy Corbyn still owns those.
Oh yeah. He has a coffee
his
plantation.
Wife. Just to be clear.
His wife. Yeah, who is now who is in court for child slave breaches.
Beautiful, isn't it? Isn't there also some factory in England somewhere with that's run by slave labor by the Labour Party?
You mean the BBC?
No,
Oh yeah,
that's the pedal.
in Leicester. Yeah, in Leicester. I think it's they found out because Leicester's a Labour-run city, but 8 out of 10 of the immigrant population are pretty much slave labour. So yeah, there was a big, huge scandal about that. But that's another thing. Back to Willy Wonka, small orange people.
Yeah.
Let's stick on topic. I'm not getting into the politics of the UK. It's a terrible place. Don't come. We don't want you anyway. I don't want to be here. No one likes it.
Come to Utah.
It's wet
we don't
and
care
cold.
about politics. Everybody is nice because we're all Mormon, and most of the girls are pretty.
Okay then. Let's keep going.
Most of the girls are pretty. Okay, cheers. Thanks for that.
Even more fantastic.
Well, that's the thing, because we stole all the
skin,
pretty ones from
green
Europe
hair,
when we
and white
baptized them in the
eyebrows, further distancing them
1800s.
from any racial
Yeah.
distinction.
You're full of
Both
shit.
films revised all of this in the opposite
No, I'm not.
direction by having all of the Oompa Loompas played by Deep Roy, a Kenyan British actor with Indian parents. That film also depicts Wonka.
I love that. A Kenyan British actor with Indian parents. This
So he's
sounds
not
like
Kenyan.
such a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a... This is the thing, that because they work on Americanisms and everything like that, in the UK, we just... If he was born... Wherever he was born, that's what we'd say his nationality. Like...
Unless you have white skin,
Yeah, no, this
then
is
you can't be an African.
this is Just Right going, well, this actor, he's coming from this ethnicity, from this, but it's like, Just Right, we don't care. It doesn't make a difference.
It's like... It's like...
what
at
Hawk
the
means
end of
is
the day,
it's that they're just throwing everything in there, so it's super. It sounds super diverse.
Yeah, but they're
When-
using
when
one
none of that
actor.
matters.
Can he play
They
the
define
part?
it by
Can he play
not just
the
by
part?
who his
That's it.
parents are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just define by who his parents are, but the soil he was born on and where he currently is.
Yeah, but the
So
fact
here's the
they-
thing: British Kenyan. How does that work? How are you British Kenyan? What's British Kenyan?
Yeah.
How does that work with Indian parents? What was he born in Britain?
Well, just
Yeah, then how is he Kenyan?
Well, think about it this way. They only used one actor, and they replicated his likeness throughout every single one of the Oompa Loompas, as opposed to having multiple diverse cast members. No, just one guy.
Yeah.
Just
you
one.
mean like tons of the actors in Hollywood with dwarfism that could really use some extra roles in famous big productions?
Let's praise the British, Kenyan, Indian, whatever he was, because there's one of them. It's like, what?
I am all the races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watch a Narnia movie.
Hey, be
Just watch a
glad
Narnia.
they didn't just again cast what's his name, Peter Dinklage.
No,
Johnny Depp.
and cloned him.
That would have been hilarious.
Because he seems to be right now. He seems to be the only guy with dwarfism left in Hollywood.
All right, here's
Everyone else, he's probably stashed them all in little boxes and then hiding them in his basement.
Well, here's
Yeah, because like the actor who was playing Minimi for what the Austin Powers movie has passed away.
Van Troyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here's
If only he was alive, he could fight Peter Dinklage.
Oh, that would be awesome! I would pay for that.
Oh, here's Window Liquor. Thanks for the one. Gonna keep it one hunted with you, boys and girl. This man seems
100%.
like yeah, phonetics. This man seems like the type of rapscallion to braid his pubic hair. And also, this is ridiculous premise. There is lazy poor people, and there are hardworking rich people. Yeah, people are different. It's very, very diverse. People are very unique. We're still waiting for an argument. He's just sort of talking about the Oompa Loompas. We're like, yes. What does that have to do with lazy and poor? They seem employed and happy.
There seems to be like a common theme with Just Right videos is that he has a tile and a supposed premise, and he never delivers on them.
Well, we see the same
point
problem.
just floats forever.
Yeah, we see the same problem with Renegade Cut. He just meanders on a topic that has nothing to do with his idea, and he brings up references from books that have nothing to do with it, aside from tangentially related to another topic he was talking about. It's
to be honest with you, the only video I've ever seen of Renegade Cut where he talks about the point is when he talked about masturbation, and he literally goes, "I masturbate frequently." It's like, oh, okay, he's just sticking to the topic. That's about it.
Wasn't
Anything else?
I think that what Just Right is trying to do is trying to say, no, the myth of the lazy poor doesn't exist. We should be focusing our ire on the douchey billionaire.
But
No,
lazy
but
people
the
do
thing
exist.
No, but that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I know,
the thing is-
but they do exist.
Yeah, but
They
here's the
do
thing.
exist.
This
I know
is how
some of them.
this is how weak and pathetic the communists are. They're like, we should just hate the rich people. I'm like, no, hate everybody. Why stop at rich people? Just despise everybody. Just go whole hog.
Rafe Judkins, Ryan
Rich, rich, poor. You know, everybody. Just hate everyone. See a child, kick it. See a pregnant woman, punch her in the stomach. Just hate everybody. Fuck society. That's what I say.
All right, let's keep going.
Trekking through the forests of Loompa Land and shows the Oompa Loompa society before Wonka takes them to his factory. So the franchise has both tried to steer away from these colonial implications and then tried to embrace them. But in either case, it's hard not to look at Wonka for what he is, a colonialist capitalist who brings the people of one country to another so that they will do labor for him without him having to pay them actual money. He pays them with cocoa beans. Now, the reason
yes, because they find it sacred.
Because they are the answer to the initial mystery in the story. In all three versions, before the plot starts, Wonka gets worried that spies from other companies are stealing his chocolate-making secrets, so he fires all of his workers and replaces them with Oompa Loompas, who all live in the factory, allowing him to shut the factory away from the rest of society, which heightens the intrigue for Charlie and the reader, as no one can tell them what's in there before they get there. How does Willy Wonka run his factory without workers? He has Oompa Loompas.
Imported, direct from Loompa Land.
It's also a plot point that really brings together a full picture of what kind of person Willy Wonka is and why our reaction to him as a character is so strange and interesting, because we are on some level meant to react with a level of awe and wonder at Wonka. That's what everyone in the story is doing, and everyone who gets frustrated with him throughout the film is immediately comically punished, leaving Wonka always
No. Not because they're frustrated with him. It's their own greed and other vices that do that.
Yeah. Okay. So Augustus Gloop falls into the chocolate because he's greedy. It's like, yeah. I mean, his mum gets angry at Wonka to save him. It's like, oh, I can't do anything because it's fine. Yeah, that's what it was meant to be there. Then Violet chews bubblegum again. That's not been properly tested, so she blows up. That's her own fault. Then Veruca
selfish little brat.
Selfish, and then gets sent to an incinerator. She doesn't. She's okay. And then Mike TV gets zapped really small by a TV thing. It's all their own doing. So yeah, they don't really say anything against Wonka. The parents get angry at Wonka because he's not doing much to help the kids, but the kids are getting their comeuppance.
Yeah, because it's the failure. It's the failure of the parents that the kids turned out at.
Yeah,
right. And this is the general lesson or message of the movie or of the book as well, is that we have these virtues and vices, and we look to the hero of the story, which is just a kid who was raised well, or at least raised reasonably well. And he is the guy who wins, not because he's the best character. He's just the most virtuous as per the tests that Willy Wonka has provided.
I can't believe that he got the very core point of the story wrong.
Yeah, it's not a complicated story. This is for kids. Everyone should be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Yeah. There's a stuck-up chick, and then there's the fat, angry kid. There's like all these guys like, all right.
But how else is he gonna force his agenda into this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Like bullshit his way. Yeah. It's been like, even at the beginning of the video, he has been disingenuous about like events of the movie.
Yeah, at its core, this story is a classic fairy tale. You have some setup characters. You have a magical place, and then you have different. Sometimes you have different people, like in the Frau Holle myth, going through different trials, if you will, and those that are not worthy get punished because they fuck up, because they have vices, and the people who do things right, they get rewarded, and that's it. This is a fairy tale. This is a modern fairy tale.
Also, like the parents are the people who are anti-whimsy and don't like Wonka's what they perceive as Wonka's lack of professionalism, when in reality it's actually like he's just pulling a Yoda on them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like the victor, but again, Wonka fired all of his workers just to maintain intellectual property, and then he replaced them with slaves. All of the wealth the factory produces is wealth that he extracts from society without putting anything back in the form of jobs. Want to skewer Grandpa?
No, he sells this stuff to businesses who then sell things. You see, here's the thing.
What is he
Learn
extracting?
how. What he extracts all the wealth. What's he?
What? No. What? How? What?
What are you on about?
What is he extracting from society?
He is a manufacturer. He does it. It's like he just gives it to Walmart. That's what happens. He just gives it to candy stops or Walmart or wherever.
Keeps the economy running and makes children happy. What else do you want?
Yeah. It's like what does he need money for?
He pretty much has
more
infinite
research,
money.
more better products.
He's basically the Maximilian Pegasus of this universe.
No, I think Just Right just has a
everyone
problem.
goes crazy about his product.
Yeah, Just Right has a problem with the chocolate industrial complex.
Yeah, it's kind of like if Lint was a magical place. It is a magical place, but it was actually a magical place. And everyone wanted to be there and go there and eat Lint all day and then get sick and pass out.
And on the topic, there is an issue with actual child slave labor in the real world with harvesting chocolate, which is why buying cheap chocolate and cheap chocolate products is not recommended if you have a problem with that. That is why look up, if you like chocolate, look up where the manufacturer you buy from actually gets the chocolate from. Some even write that on the product, and stick with that. Because especially the stuff from the Ivory Coast, that is nightmare fuel.
This just seems like such a stretch to say capitalism bad, communism good, brothers, and yet a communistic workforce pretty much. He's like, no, this is bad, this is slavery. It's like, the mask slips then, does it?
Yeah, and this is look, the Oompa Loompas get what they want.
Yeah.
The people get what they want. I don't know what he's extracting from society.
Yeah.
Like, he's putting that into new research.
About the virtues of being a good person.
Maybe
every single room is a different message.
Yeah,
maybe the
and that
issue
is why Willy Wonka wants a virtuous successor for his factory, because he wants it to stay virtuous.
I think
Just Right would fail at the test.
I think the point he originally made was with the intellectual property of the chocolate recipe or something like that. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a small minor issue in the story. But to say that, he fired all the workers, it's like, yeah, because it's his product.
We're stealing his secret.
Yeah, he could do what he wants. It's his product. It's his business. He could stop it at any time. That's not.
I mean, imagine the business firing people. God, shock! Never heard that before.
Yeah.
Also, he did it for a good reason. Industrial espionage was happening all the time.
Yeah, industrial espionage is illegal. Industrial espionage is illegal, by the way.
Yeah, so
so nobody does it because it's illegal.
Well, he ended up hiring people.
Does it? It's just he's smart about getting the drop on the people who are trying.
Someone should tell the Chinese that it's illegal.
No.
They probably don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's like, if people are only stealing these things, they should be able to steal intellectual property. Nobody shouldn't. They aren't allowed to do that. That's illegal. They shouldn't be doing this. They are bad if they do this. It's like, he's a disgusting capitalist. I don't care, commie pig, right? I don't care that you don't like that people are richer than you because you still live in your mum's basement.
Well, the good point.
Go away.
Titles for your videos.
Well, the good point is that he hired people who revered chocolate as a holy thing.
Yeah.
Which is exactly who you want to work with.
Yeah.
Don't accept money for bribes.
Yeah, they don't accept anything. They just whack some cocoa beans under him, and you've got their loyalty. But he's got all the cocoa beans, so shit in it. Oh well.
Imagine people like the Oompa Loompas would be running Hollywood, and writing movies because they care about this craft that is almost holy to them, about writing and filmmaking.
I thought about just saying just whack something in front of him, because didn't Harvey Weinstein, I think, whacked it in front of him, and he turned out wrong, didn't he? So
I have no idea what you just said, because your connection was weird and you ate your microphone.
I just mentioned Harvey Weinstein, dude. Carry on.
All right.
Yeah, that's the one thing I understood.
Anyway, let's keep going.
A Joe, because he allegedly doesn't provide for his family while feigning sickness. Well, why is Charlie's family impoverished in the first place? It's because Grandpa Joe used to work at the chocolate factory and then was one of the people Wonka fired. You're living in poverty, Charlie, just so this rich can...
What?
Okay, so because like the old man was fired from the chocolate factory, the entirety and the other half of the grandparents are also in poverty. Okay. Yeah, right.
So also, here's the thing. Wonka didn't fire them to make more money. He fired them because industrial espionage was happening all over his factory, and he had to close it just to stay in business.
Yeah.
Like,
So I
you
just
are an
noticed that in
extremely
this...
disingenuous, lying douchebag.
I like the German flags there. That's nice.
Yeah, it's the nice way to show the German-American friendship.
Well, it was filmed in Germany, so...
Yeah, that's probably why. And getting some funding on top.
There you go, yeah.
As well as there were probably, as well as the fact that Augustus Gloop was German.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that name?
Augustus Gloop.
Augustus Gloop?
Yeah, Augustus Gloop. Yeah.
Gloop?
The fat kid.
Yeah, Gloop.
Was that the character's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because that is a silly name.
Oh,
That's a silly name.
Oh. I love you when a German goes, that's a silly name, you know it's a silly name.
Let's not go to Camelot. This is a silly place.
There are some really silly names in Germany.
Exactly, that's my point. I'm just like, ooh, jeez.
Yeah, like Corbinian.
Corbinia. Oh
Corbinian. Yeah, it sounds like a basketarian.
What?
Imagine being called basketarian.
Well, I know what a pescatarian is, but what's a basket?
There's something with baskets?
I can only eat baskets.
I don't know. I never looked up the etymology of the name, but it's just one of these silly South German names. Like,
yeah.
Why would you do that to your kids?
This is what happens when, when you learn, you don't know a certain language, the Japanese take it, they say, that sounds cool. Let's make an entire story about that. They reference all this either German or some other Latin style language and just make up
when
names.
They name things.
Yeah, it's
when
ridiculous.
they name things, they just. I mean, it's okay to name things up like English naming conventions. Like you name a character Black Nut. Okay, everybody it works with everyone, especially the non-English, because that sounds cool. But when you do this with German and you get the grammar wrong on top of that, and the gender of the person in regards to the words you use, it sounds really silly.
Mm-hmm. We finish up this video. We probably only have like a minute left since it's got his ad.
Oh boy.
Oh, you don't complain. You bring up the Blade movies that you haven't even watched and keep talking about it. You don't get to complain.
I was referencing specific black protagonists.
No. You go watch the movies afterwards.
Anyway.
I don't care. I'm not interested in watching Blade. I already know what happens.
Whoa, is he swearing about him being a capitalist or running a business? What?
Yes.
Yeah. Just rewind. Yeah, just rewind. I want to have a listen to it.
He's complaining that he owns the means of production of his own factory.
It's because Grandpa Joe used to work at the chocolate factory and then was one of the people Wonka fired. You're living in poverty, Charlie, just so this rich can profit off the chocolate you love rather than a different rich Ooh, let's take breaks a little bit here.
Wait a second. So he's complaining because everyone got fired. Someone else would have been another rich prick making more chocolate or different chocolate or competing chocolate. And then it'd be the same issue again. So what do you want from him? Should he have not fired everyone?
Would you rather have a less virtuous chocolate factory owner? But someone needs to manage this thing.
How?
Someone needs to start building this. He probably started this as a small business like everybody else.
How angelic.
And all that aside. Why do you use these ear-rapey sounds and then they don't even bleep out the bloody curse words you pretend to bleep out, you pretentious, brain-dead fuckwit?
Okay.
Some people are wearing headphones.
Also, like, Wonka's
Yeah, we know
more
it's-
ethical than any of his competitors.
Yes.
He's not performing at industrial espionage
Industrial
on
espionage.
them.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka
He's-
is essentially he's a good capitalist.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I think at this point with like these sort of people, we should just like, where's Zach and his soundboard just doing the Russian national anthem?
I would love that, right? I gotta set up myself.
Yeah, it's just like Just Right says something. Why is he saying that? Plays Russian national anthem. I don't know, comrade. Sounds a little communist to me.
There was like a meme like a while ago with the retarded version. I just have that thing like playing like every single time he opens his mouth.
It makes me nauseous. That retarded version makes me nauseous. Really, I've listened to it twice. It's whoa.
Oh,
that's a
so
trip.
we should
It's just
we
so
should play
real.
it more often.
Anyway.
I just added Baileys to my chocolate just to please you.
Hawk, I'm drunk. How dare you want to talk to me about drinking?
Honestly, it's a good combination. It's like it's and very thematic. I have this hot chocolate with added caffeine stuff nonsense, a piece of dark chocolate in it to dissolve and add more chocolatey flavor to it, whole milk,
You know
and then a shot of Baileys.
There was a story on Bloomberg and as we reported on Yahoo News or Yahoo Finance about this lady who got a job at Blizzard, I think. And the first day of work, they lined up fireball shots on her desk. And she blamed the entire... She was there for 8 years or something like that. And she blamed the guy work environment, the frat house style lifestyle they had as getting her blackout drunk and getting sick to her stomach. It's like, yeah, okay, they forced you to drink. It's like, no. It's like, well, then what are you complaining about?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, they forced me to drink. Why? Well, they
For
pressured
8
me.
years. It's like, what did you do all
For
day?
8 years.
Now you're
It
complaining?
was so hard to. It was just so hard to say no. So I just went along with absolutely everything
Yeah.
to the point I sacrificed my child to the serpent sun god.
Yeah, they're all misogynists. They're all horrible men who gave me free booze. It's like, well, okay, first off, Fireball, whatever whiskey is shit. But if that's what you think, if that's what you like, if we didn't like it, why'd you keep drinking it?
It's like I don't understand why people just can't say no. It's like, they pressured me. Just say no. Oh, they keep asking. Just keep saying no.
You know what's really easy when you're not an alcoholic?
A lot of things, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but just not touching the drink or not getting another shot. Like just say no, I'm done. Or I don't want anything tonight.
Which the word you're looking for is moderation.
Well, it seems like it was an issue of
You're not done. I'm done.
It was.
Whisp.
I thought it was an issue of
You're Mormon. You don't drink anyway.
Oh my god.
Exactly, and I'm going to have a healthy liver for the rest of my life.
Anyway,
listen.
It was a silly anecdote I brought up about a woman who doesn't understand the concept of intelligence. But anyway.
No, wait, hang on. Smudge, you didn't have to add that extra bit. It's just a woman. We all knew there was no intelligence there whatsoever. So,
See, this is why I have a list of people on board, so I don't say these things.
Oh yeah, I just say these things. I don't care. What are women gonna do? Cry? Oh, I'm on my period. Oh, no one cares, love. Go on. Drink your fireballs or whatever it is for 8 years.
All right.
What are you gonna do? Slur your words at me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there were some actual horrible things going on in that company, but that is
not one of them. No, that's retarded.
That's.
In fact, if someone offered me
moment.
whiskey, I don't care how bad it is at a first day of the job. I'm like, this is a pretty cool place.
I work in alcohol, and we don't drink that much. I'm like, where do you get this from? I work in a warehouse full of alcohol. It's like barely anyone drinks it. It's like, oh, okay. But a game developer, they're just knocking fireballs back. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, no wonder the games got so shitty.
And also unethical.
Yeah.
What, the games got unethical?
unethically produced like the War
everything
Master,
got
like
unethical.
like a Warcraft Reforged. Like they were saying that there would be all these like close-up cutscenes. It's basically just it's just a slightly updated graphic.
Oh no! Yeah. Remastered was unethical. I already completely repressed that thing exists.
Okay. All right.
There is, by the way, a real scene that plays Warcraft 3 on its own servers and does tournaments and shit. That because they hate remastered. So Warcraft 3 will live on without Blizzard.
Because Warcraft 3 like has less bugs by all accounts.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
All right. Anyway, we have less than 2 minutes. Well, depending on the advertisement, but we'll find out what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
These are just movies, and these are just memes. But what I find interesting about all of them...
Can you stop giving me green flashes?
Pretty common. Memes are, in some sense,
giving me an aneurysm.
True. They become popular because they strike a chord with us, not just as a piece of humor, but as a representation of our values. You do not need to search very hard for examples of people blaming the poor for their poverty and calling them lazy, while turning around and portraying billionaires as eccentric and brilliant. I suppose this is actually...
But some of
Is
them
there any
are.
point where is there any point where Willy Wonka's called a billionaire?
No.
Yeah, they don't show how much money he has.
Also, bear in mind, and I always like to point this out, there were very few billionaires in the 1970s because the way money worked. Like, billionaires are only like a very recent thing, especially in America. We had a lot of
where the
billionaires.
billions actually have any semblance of worth.
Right.
Yeah, it's like there's more millionaires. Yeah, and especially how British money worked. Like, it's being
everyone was a billionaire.
If you're a millionaire in America, you're not a millionaire in the UK, by the way. You have exchange rates and all this sort of stuff, so it's
your money is worth like 1.5 times our money.
And the American market is a bit overpriced the past 20 years. So
but
for
it's also the fact that in 1971, like my granddad was being paid £12 a week. So
that sounds about right.
But people go £12. It's like but when things like when a pint of beer costs like a penny. Do you know what I mean? It's like £12. So that's what I mean. It's like if you're a millionaire, it's like to get £1 million back in 1970 is very difficult. I mean, like if you watch some of the old crime capers from like the 70s and 60s, they talk about there's £10,000 of cash we can steal, and it's like that's a lot of money. And nowadays you're like, why would you steal 10,000? Why is everyone so interested in £10,000? And it's because it's different. So, but anyway, I digress.
It's the time where and probably long before that, where I need to translate that. Proverbs like the one who doesn't honor the cent isn't worth the dollar or the pound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Penny and pound works pretty well because it's an alliteration.
Yeah.
All right.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah. That's a different one.
No.
But it's still works.
All right. Anyway, let's go.
Actually, one of the things I like about the Burton remake, even though the 1971 film is, in my opinion, much more fun to watch, the portrayal of Wonka as this intensely socially awkward, germophobic shut-in with deep-seated daddy issues that everyone...
He's creepy as fetch!
Yeah, he's horrible to watch. When Gene Wilder, he's leisurely. He has an air of loftiness about him that is...
He's charismatic.
Yeah. Yeah, and he is serious beneath this act, but the acting that he puts on is just hey, it's a nice day, isn't it? Why are you all so tensed up?
He's so fair as well. Like all the challenges that he proposes, like they aren't impossible to do.
But you could also understand how before he closed the factory, why people liked him. Because he's so charismatic. With Tim Burton, it's like, why do we like this obvious child sex offender?
He looks like a child molester.
Yeah, no, but
he looks like a
honestly.
Michael Jackson style child molester.
I just wanted to say that. And when I watched it, I got the vibes of as that he was supposed to resemble that in some form.
Yeah, a little
So
bit.
with
Yeah.
the way he talked.
Yeah. It does feel like that.
He
Here's
looks
my
really
wonderland.
weird.
Don't you children all want to stay here? Ugh.
Good morning. The sun says hello, and you're like, what the fuck are you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Multiple things, apparently.
Hee Shimon, mother lumpers.
Okay.
Inversion of what we've come to expect of the mythical industrialist genius. Meanwhile, in the Wilder film, they're glorifying Wonka right up until the credits. It always feels very strange and a little bit uncomfortable that the way Charlie wins is just that he gets to have the factory, but only on the condition that he runs it the way Wonka wants it to be run. It doesn't
Because he's ethical.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
god.
He wants it to be run. Yes, that's the point. That's the whole point of the whole thing.
You know how a
Because
board of
Wonka
directors
runs it ethically.
appoints a
you
CEO?
don't see that because you think the Oompa Loompas are slaves or some nonsense
Yeah.
when they aren't.
When you hire a guy to run your company like a CEO, you're like, okay, we want you to do everything that we ask you to do, and in the way we want you to do it. And the CEO guy goes, okay, and they hire a CEO. That's how it goes in business. It's just like,
And in this case, this is why he has this rigorous selection process for whom he gives his legacy to. He wants his legacy to be run in his own spirit, which is a good one. Which is why he's glad that he found this boy.
If like you have a business that like even the president of the United States and the entire world goes crazy about, and you want to change that formula, like you have to be insane. You have to be insane not to see that like this is like successful business that needs to continue.
And as we stated earlier, last I checked, Willy Wonka is not stealing ideas from his competitors. His competitors are trying to steal ideas from Wonka.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he's exploiting his workers. They seem very happy.
It's not just Oompa Loompas. Like Slugwood is like one of his employees that he
just hired
specifically employs to. Like
I think he's just like an independent contractor. Who he
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's different. Go back to your Norwegian cruises. What do you know about it?
It's Norwegian Cruise Line. It's a brand, you numpty.
Oh yeah, all right then. It's not brand.
Anyway.
The problem that the comics seem to have is that they fail to build functioning businesses and therefore blame the capitalists, what they call the capitalists, of just that they must be cheating somehow. They all must be cheating and therefore all be evil because we just can't succeed. Yeah, but that's because you don't think. You're not using your rational mind if you have it somewhere. Maybe take it out of the box at some point. You probably got it in a gift box at your 12th birthday and refused to open it. But then you could then you could maybe build a business that actually works. And maybe then you could also build your autonomous zone in a way that could actually function and sustain itself. But you know what that would end up as? Another state with its own rules and regulations, its own government, its own courts, and its own police force, and then you'd just be another nation.
Outer Haven.
Because that's just how it works.
All right, let's go.
Oh, anyway, let's discuss some
feels like child abuse, but the movie's still uncritically.
Fucking no, you know what's child abuse? Like giving a child a chocolate factory. Ignore the fact that one child was turned into a giant blueberry. One child was sucked up into like a pipe. Another kid was sent down a garbage chute, and another child is the size of a thimble.
It's like child abuse that Charlie and his entire family is allowed to live inside
in a chocolate factory forever, or until they die. It's they
happily ever
get
after.
They get out of poverty. What
God,
child abuse?
Something? He has no idea about fucking anything, does he? He literally
No.
has. He says words because his parents threw a dictionary at him when they told him to leave and get a real job. He's 35 now. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why he
And he
created
just
the
says-
channel, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just despise this man. He's just fucking, he's stupid.
Yeah.
He's fucking
This
retarded.
isn't even his worst video. His worst video is probably like either like his hypocritical, like kind of the comparison between his Marvel video, which I don't even like many Marvel movies. I just think that it's interesting that like he's just such a hypocrite with so many things.
Well,
So
fuck it,
which
you
one is
can't
his
call.
worst video?
I would say that
It's
his
just-
Last
it's-
Jedi videos and his reader response theory video
okay.
regarding the Last Jedi are
God.
the worst video, as well as
Oh, right, that was
his
him as well.
object, also
Or
like
the
his
colored one,
objectivity, or the
Oh my
objectivity does not exist video.
Oh, that was legendary. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that was,
that's what got me to Smut's channel in the first place.
I still
just-
get comments on that to this
How
day.
can you critique anything when you dismiss the idea of objective?
That's another
The-
topic to get into.
It's just, I just can't wrap my mind around it. And I've met people like that in real life. They believe that to the point that they say objective reality doesn't exist.
I say let's blow this thing and go home.
Yeah, where was that?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up to Wonka? I think it's really easy to fall into the trap of thinking about the world in these easy tropes. And when I watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
don't.
Factory, I wish we could resist the urge to condemn people as Grandpa Joes and be a little more skeptical of people trying to be Willy Wonka.
What?
You know what I do when I watch Willy Wonka? I enjoy the fucking movie and I don't let my ideology blind me to everything because I'm not a sad, lonely fucking cunt.
Hey guys, you know
And
what?
may I remind everyone that he based this on what he himself called a joke site.
Well, let's go back to the idea that we don't think of reality as a meme. We just don't. They're funny little images on your phone or on your computer. They make you laugh. We don't
Like
go.
there's a saying that it's funny because it's true, but this is just overblown. It's just kind of like how over the top a freaking movie was.
I'm assuming he's
movie's
going to
fun.
sell us something right now.
Yes,
Oh, let's see it.
I hope so, at least.
Not greedy, you will go far.
This video is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service showing incredible films from all around the world. If you watch my channel, you probably love Mubi.
It's always Mubi, Tubi, Luby, all these dumb Ubies. I don't know why.
Well, it sounds like Teletubby language.
With 7 circles as the logo.
Wow, it's great. Whatever, just right. I love
And then
this.
he what is it with these fucking commies always wanting to give me a seizure?
Yeah.
Well, they want to kill you with Rise of Skywalker. I think that was specifically targeted to kill you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, these are the bloody trigger warning people, but they try to give everyone seizures.
All right.
him a seizure!
You would give
everyone a seizure!
Close your eyes, relax. Let's get on to the memes.
I can't in time. That's what you actually need these warnings for.
All right, here's the mechanist. Hey, how's it going? So, time to choose. I choose to execute you and your fellow commies, Marks and Emma Watson, to a hive of colony spiders, just like what I did to a Zuckerborg. Remember how you all say "eat the rich"? And here we have Wisp and
Mechanist.
the mechanist, and they're all just launching spiders.
And the watch.
Oh, we had memes. Right, sorry.
Yeah, so I think Wisp has a flamethrower or something going on. Oh my
Need to
God.
switch over. Where
Yeah, Wish always has a flamethrower nowadays.
Oh, it's the Lego stuff.
Yeah, it's the Lego stuff.
We have
It's
more
great.
Lego stuff?
Yeah, mechanist
Yeah.
loves his Lego. Look at that.
Yeah. It's good. It's cool. I like it. It's great.
Cyberfrog.
That's awesome. That's
oh my
awesome. I like the flamethrower.
God. Fantastic Beasts, How a Turf Writes Mystery Revisited. Oh, shut the... That's a title?
Yeah,
that
he
is his
renamed the
title.
titles because after the controversy with the writer.
Of course
Oh,
he did. Of
you-
course.
Hold on. Did Mark? You saw about what I put up. I think the Harry Potter fan thing put up about how Harry Potter fans are the most tolerant of fan bases.
Yes.
Yes, they will.
Hold on. They put this up on Facebook. I literally looked at the comments underneath that. They were literally people calling for the deaths of every single person who did not agree with them. People were calling for J.K. Rowling to be hung in the street along with all the other Tory voters in the UK. And I just commented, yes, the tolerant Harry Potter fans calling for the deaths of people.
Yeah,
it was crazy. They were like foaming at the mouth at all this stuff. I was like, oh my god.
And the irony is even bigger that because they overinterpret because of their ideology something Rowling didn't even say, but they interpreted it as transphobic. Well, they're the very same people who want me dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't agree with them, and I have the bloody condition. But that is the very reason they have a problem with me, because they don't even want the condition to be a real thing. That's absolutely insane.
All right, this is a quote from King Gizo, said in the 1840s he would do anything the British wanted him to do apart from giving up slave trade. The slave trade is the ruling principle of my people. It is the source and the glory of their wealth. The mother lulls the child to sleep with notes of triumph over an enemy reduced to slavery.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Here's a reference to Family Guy. I won't play because that's definitely going to be copyrighted. Here's Joe Crazy. I think these are comments from the video. Let's find out.
Oh, dear.
I always interpreted the modern hatred of Grandpa Joe as an analog of millennials' anger towards baby boomers. The idea that Grandpa Joe does not participate in the younger generation's hard work but still passively benefits from it and even feels entitled to it. It's not that he is poor, but he is ungrateful?
What? No. Oh, God. This is so wrong on so many levels. First off, Grandpa Joe is not ungrateful. Secondly, have you heard of the generational contract, or whatever you call it in English? Because the pensions aren't just built by yourself, they're also built by the young generation. And you know that a good family has all the generations under one roof, or at least very close together,
like
so that they can all support each other.
Yeah.
All right,
no, in Star Trek, all the old people are on Earth.
All right, we got three more.
Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's all about that.
A version with a black Charlie wouldn't be a half bad idea. Just got to publicize the heck out of how that was the original plan. Okay.
But like the point of the fucking book, or like the story, it wasn't that like Charlie was black. There's no reason for him to be black.
Yeah.
No.
It's a simple cosmetic shift. Same way that in the Wrinkle of Time remake, all the main characters are black just because it doesn't say anything about black people. It's just they're all black.
Like there was another movie by that name?
All right.
And it sucked.
As children, these books are just fuel for playful imagination, but as adults, we analyze the author's intent and fit it into our worldviews and politics.
See, that is your mistake.
Why the
how
hell would
about
adults do
you?
that?
How about you reevaluate your worldview and politics, whether they even make sense, instead of shoving everything in it and making it a tool of your dogmatic obsession and delusion.
Imagine an adult just doing that in general. I'm gonna see the authorial intent in this steak someone made for me, and I might change my worldview in politics to resemble that. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
No. You got it upside down. This guy has his worldview and politics and shoves everything into that.
That's what I mean. He looks at a
these
steak.
Are permanent lenses.
He'll look at
he does not change his politics. He will never change his worldview and politics. They are set in stone now.
He'll look at a piece of meat and say, this is the meat packing industry, and it's exploiting cows and labor, and I'm never going to eat meat again. I'm going to go into veganism. Or it's like, dude, it's a steak. You ordered it. Do you want it or not? Bizarre. Maybe it's just me, but I always found Wilder's version to be pretty creepy. Okay. Probably more so than Depp's version, because he almost blends in as normal. Makes him even more uncanny and dangerous.
What?
So he's like a better representation of like the CEO.
All right, everyone.
This guy. This guy has a clown fetish.
Everyone go to that comment and just explain why he's wrong, because it's easy.
Ugh. Johnny Depp looks
Don't
like
talk to a
pedophile
wall.
Michael Jackson.
Don't talk to a wall.
He looks
Wow.
like a pedophile Michael Jackson.
All right, just because Hawk
Yes, he
mentioned
does.
Britain crusading against slavery, King Gezo of Dahomey, West Africa's most notorious slave trading monarch, who had an all-female army.
Yeah, that was a secret police thing.
All right. And growing rich with slavery. Okay, we're not going to get to that.
It's the same with just some more text above it.
And there's Hawk. As always.
Fox Society. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another. This reader needs to be educated by Elmer Fudd and how business works regarding profits. Okay, you guys can watch that. That's cool.
Yeah. We can't watch these. We get it. These videos are really good, but we just can't watch it because we will be copyright striked straight away.
And Jacob,
we'll just
people on the server.
so Jacob literally just screenshotted his own sentence as a meme. I've never seen that done before. That's amazing.
all I can say is based.
In case you missed the point.
What a Chad move! Take screenshot.
So lazily clever. I can't help but be impressed.
Yeah, Jacob.
It's like that.
Good job, sir.
Post meme. Take screenshot of meme. Repost meme. Says nothing. Leave.
Just leave. Awesome. All right, that was a pretty bad Just Right video. They're all pretty bad, but that's what we end up getting.
Other than maybe his Hobbit videos. His Hobbit videos are not that bad. Like, he actually like
Dunn. Shut up.
No, I'm being honest.
Yeah, no.
Like
the ones that
his Hobbit videos, like he doesn't like the Hobbit movies. Like he hates
not
them.
enough.
And he like is criticizing them, but then it seemed like he lost his brain.
After Trump, yes.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, used to be he was decently good, and then he got ideology.
No.
And he
All
started
these
turning out bad
people,
videos.
all these like Lindsay Ellis, and like all these goons were like just sleeper agents. And once Trump was elected, they awakened to their true calling. 9/11.
The ones that the video that really pissed me off was the one where he talks about what's his name, John. Oh, I forgot his name. He wrote a book on how to write, and he's referencing it. He sort of got the general idea, but then John Truby. Thank you very much. I read that book. It's a great book, and he gets some of it right, and he gets the examples right. He looks at a movie. I think it was Collateral, and he explained the arc. Like, all right, yeah, you got that. It's good. And then he just messes up the details. I'm like, oh, like it's those like 80% he's right. I'm like, I like it, and then this 20% is just completely wrong. It drives me nuts.
You mean the Knives Out video?
Oh god, that one was pretty bad too.
Because I think like he brings up John Truby's like lectures there.
Yeah,
that was really fucking bad.
Yeah, no, he brings up Truby a lot. And everyone likes Truby. He's great. He's very clear. He wrote a good book. He's a good speaker. He has lectures. Great guy to read, to learn about writing. But he just twists it. It drives me up a wall. It's like you read the same class as I was. We read the same book. We listened to the same lecture, and you just got that 10% wrong or whatever. It drives me nuts. So
or when he misquotes Kant by saying Kant and Hume.
God. Don't even bring up philosophy. He's out to lunch there. I don't think he ever took a philosophy class or read.
And he'd like
Kant.
Or just like wasn't he like he quotes Kant supposedly, but in reality it's something that Hume said. Disproves his point.
I remember doing that video on because he brought up Hume a lot, and I don't remember where he got those references, but it's so. Listening to people who have these opinions, who twist them in any way, shape, or form, is really annoying because you have these brilliant people from all over the world, philosophers, whatever, hundreds of years old, thousands of years old, and they're popular for a reason. They're important for a reason, and to just get the surface or to just understand one idea and think that's the whole point is just insane. Especially with Kant. Kant is absolutely brilliant. And he's so
You mean Kant?
No, it's
Kant.
Where's Wisp? Wisp isn't here. He'd tell you how to pronounce. It actually sounds like cunt, believe it or not.
Maybe it's just pronounced kunt.
Yeah, it's very
kunt.
Kunt, yeah. That's yeah.
Kunstberg.
He is so brilliant and he's so well written, and he's so eccentric and precise. Like if you like, it's hard to read him and it's hard to understand him unless you actually study him. You can't just casually read him. You can't just casually read Hume. You can't just casually read Aristotle. It takes time, and for him to mess it up is so obvious a problem that I've noticed with lots of people in school in general when you go to university.
Mm-hmm.
So. It's a common thing. Anyway, thank you guys for spending the time with another Just Right video. It's been a while. I'm glad we covered one. I enjoyed it.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Also one of the laziest content creators on YouTube. Like he barely does anything.
I think he does a lot for editing, although like he had like very obvious like editing errors in his video, which was funny.
I mean, like he puts out a video once every 2-3 months.
Yeah,
they're all short. That's
he
why
gets
he
gets a shit ton of Patreon money, so he doesn't need to produce it. But he pretends that they are like highly produced, and he researched them a lot. But it's just like the kind of like arguments that he's bringing up can be like summed up in like Twitter threads. Like that's the level that he's approaching every single time. It's just kind of tiresome, but at the same time, it's kind of hilarious to like pursue.
This thing right now was not well produced. Are you still talking about Just Right?
Yes.
This thing that we watched today was not well produced.
No, like I just meant that like he edited the video well enough, but that's about it.
Anyway, thanks guys. We're gonna call it a night. Talk to you real soon. Have a great weekend.